Okay, gang.
Holy shit. Yo, did you know he can do this?
We'll see.
We're going to get into the battle royale later. Don't worry.
I didn't know he can do that.
Were you looking at a Raisin Bran commercial?
Yeah.
So Tori and I were just doing a little bit of prep work because if you didn't watch last week's episode, the very end we'll be debating the age-old question of who wins in a cereal mascot battle royale.
This is gonna be the longest podcast ever.
It's good.
I cannot wait.
I double checked. The cereal mascot battle royale was our 7th ever episode.
Was it really?
Cast.
Nice.
Yes.
Yay.
So like 3 years ago or whatnot.
Oh
so it's
my
been
God.
quite a while. And we are a lot more better age and experience
God.
now.
It's been
So
160 episodes.
basically, yeah.
It's been 3 years. Yeah.
So we'll have some new stuff to talk about, I think. And we got plenty of awesome answers from you guys as well. But we'll get to that later on in the show. Hey, welcome to the Death Battle cast. We are the cast and crew of Death Battle and more. I'm Ben, the voice of Wiz.
So was the
Sam?
Was the reporter a raisin?
Guys,
was he a raisin?
guys.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Let's focus
I'm
for a
Torian.
bit. We'll get to it.
Animator here.
Did you get yours in, Sam?
Yeah, I did.
Hey, I'm Chad. I play Broomstick. I will be looking at cereal
Okay,
commercials while it's happening because I really want to be prepared for this, and I didn't have time before.
Okay, so normally with Death Battle cast we have the 3 segments or whatnot. We're just gonna do 2 this time because we've got to get to the cereal battle, right?
Yeah.
I did have serial business to talk about.
Well,
but
that's
Cereal
technically
business.
counts.
I was just gonna talk shit about E3. Was all like,
Why?
What about how it's
What's
dying?
going on?
oh, they suck and like they.
No,
yeah. Well,
jeez.
hey, last year they fucking doxed me. Like that's not very cool. But also. This
Yeah,
year,
a bunch
like
of
I was
information
going
got
through,
leaked.
I was going through their like registration shit because we were thinking about doing a fun thing and going this year, and they were like, they have their website's ass trash. They're like, and they ask you questions like, what products are you interested in? Are you interested in the PSP? And I'm like, motherfucker, how up to date are you? They literally had like a ColecoVision thing. Maybe there's a new ColecoVision, but they don't have like PS5. It's like this is a console launch like year. What the fuck are you talking about?
So I thought
Put PS5
Except
and
PlayStation's not
Xbox
gonna
Series
be
X
there.
right there. I know,
Isn't-
but they still have fucking PS3 on this list
So isn't like-
and the
Oh, jeez.
PSP.
isn't E3 wasn't it like more for like investors and stuff?
Originally.
So do they still
But
care
now it's
about
like,
it?
but this is also it's like media and public registration.
But that's
so
what I'm saying. So like, do investors not care about it anymore? And they're like,
probably-
we got someone that got to come.
to some extent, I'm sure they do.
Sure.
But I don't know. Just fuck E3.
Yeah,
They need to get their shit in line.
it's pretty
It doesn't
washed.
really work as well for investors now because thanks to the internet, there's a lot more private investor meetings, or just online investor meetings. So
And
it's
even
not
if-
really that big of a deal.
And even if you have some stock to a certain degree, you can just phone in into one of those meetings.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
so.
Anyway, so we are going to be talking about the latest death battle that just came out.
Yay.
Leonardo versus Red Ranger Jason. One of our, I think it's one of our coolest episodes ever.
guys are
It's
just-
Chad.
Let's focus. Let's focus.
It's him.
You're doing the.
We
You're
need
talking
to
about the death battle, which is great.
Yeah, I know. And then you.
Holy
right.
shit.
Sorry, I keep
We
finding.
will get to it.
All right.
We will get to it.
It's Chad, Ben. I'm sorry. I can move.
Just mute
Don't
their
throw me-
mics for
don't
like
throw me
the
under
next
the
30
bus.
minutes.
Let's go ahead, talk about the Red Ranger.
Let's talk
Okay.
about Leo versus Jason because this episode just aired.
Nice.
We got to get through the Q&A. There's some questions to answer, as usual.
Yes.
If you don't know, every time we air a new episode of Death Battle, we do a Q&A here with some of the questions that we see in the comments on Twitter, what have you, which means if you have not seen Leonardo versus Jason yet, please do so before you continue watching this because we will be spoiling who wins.
When you say it like that, it sounds like Leonardo versus Jason Voorhees.
No, just the Red Ranger, Jason.
That could be interesting.
That could be
Could
interesting.
could the Ninja Turtles take down Jason?
Only if
feel
you.
like yes.
Only if you.
Nothing can take down Jason. That's his thing.
Only if you let him be like the Jason in Mortal Kombat, when they pretty much gave him like the way he like shows up in scenes out of nowhere. They
Yeah.
made that like a teleport. And he's,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
super
Well, that was
strong.
from a recent. I can't remember which one. One of the reboot Jason movies. He just like appears places.
Nice.
There's this great moment. I can't remember which movie it is, but there's this great moment where the kids are running from like a shack into the house, and Jason was clearly in the shack before. They're running from him, and the camera follows them into the house, and then it tilts up to the top of the house, and he's just on the roof.
Nice.
Like he just somehow got there.
So yeah, we got to give him all the movie editing magic powers.
Yes.
That'd be pretty sick.
All right, so let's get to the Q&A for Leo versus Jason. Are you gonna?
Yep.
You gonna do what you
Oh.
do before?
Okay,
Do you wanna do-
those questions. I thought you meant the other ones, but
What
I
other
can go.
questions? Are there
What's
any
happening?
other questions?
No, I mean I thought you meant like the tweets later. I was confused. That's on my bad. Let me pull the old document up right now. You want to do the
doing
first
the
one?
answer?
While you're doing
Answers?
that, Ben, you can get
Yeah.
the first one right out the
Yeah.
Line up
So
that
the
first one
first
really quick.
question is, if you didn't want to use anything out of the ordinary for Leo, why did he have his teleporting Odachi in the fights? This is actually something we talked about a lot with the research team. Figuring out what to give Leo without it feeling like we are choosing what to give Leo was really difficult because the typical format for a death battle is we focus on the primary source material, right, for a character. And generally speaking, that primary source is pretty easy to narrow down. Did they start in a manga? Is the manga the most complete story? That's the primary source material.
Sure.
Even if there's an anime, the anime builds off the manga, so we focus on the manga.
Yep.
Even if we're using mostly footage from the anime. Comic book characters. Comic books are obviously the main source material. Leo is kind of all over the place. The majority of, while he started as a comic book character, that comic book character is almost nothing like what the character has become, or even became almost immediately in the very first cartoon. So he has changed so much over the years that it was difficult to like lock down a single version of him that we could potentially use. So we kind of composited, but we didn't want to composite so much that the character was no longer the Leonardo that people typically appreciate. For example, as we mentioned in the episode, in the 2003 cartoon, he learns how to turn into a dragon. Little out of his normal wheelhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a small bit.
But there are, of course, some things that we can't just remove everything that's been a one-off power, like his healing hands, for example, the Bushido mindset, his grappling hook, just individual tools. If we removed everything that was specific to each iteration, he'd just be a turtle with a sword. Like, that's basically it. And we didn't want to like narrow him down that much, so we kind of just gave him everything we could reasonably give him. But if it was something that would basically tip the scales, basically we didn't want to give him anything that would potentially give him the win just because of that one random moment in one random series. But that would be a little tricky. That's not necessarily the rule or whatever that we use, but if that became an issue, we would have to debate that. But that didn't. So we basically just removed anything that was like really out there, like the dragon form.
That would've been cool, though.
It's not that big of a deal.
You have him turn to a dragon and then bring the Zord out.
I mean, if people want to see that, let us know. We could always do a rematch later on where it's like Zord versus Dragon Turtle. Who knows?
DBX.
Yeah. And also another thing that we try to do always is we answer questions before they're asked. So if Leonardo did not have the Odachi and he lost, people would go, well, what if he did have the Odachi? Because a lot of people might consider that as not too far out of his typical wheelhouse. So that's it.
Okay, cool. Next one. This battle was a lot more stylized than some other death battles. What were the inspirations for the animation style?
Oh, shoot. This was a question for Luis when we planned to have him on the show.
The video games played and the general era is what I was going
What was that?
A Porky Pig moment, dude.
stroke. Don't worry, it happens. Yeah.
You're about to start rapping.
the general area.
Fucking hit him with that slippy. But yeah, the general era of it, like that, 16-bit, radical 90s, all that kind of shit. Definitely
90s.
played into it very hard.
Oh yeah,
There was-
especially when we were writing this, when Genevieve and I were writing this, we were like, we gotta like throw in all that '90s slang and puns and things like that. The fight was really fun to write.
A lot of the moves too were like just plucked straight out of the video games, which is really cool.
Yes, very much an arcade style.
Yep.
Because I feel like, as a '90s kid, growing up with Turtles and Power Rangers is like some of the biggest franchises. Whenever I went to an arcade, one of the first things I would always look for is the Ninja Turtles arcade machine.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Ninja
that
Turtles
arcade
2
machine
or
was lit.
Turtles in Time. Because it's fucking dope. I feel like that's a huge part of Ninja Turtles nostalgia, and also the sprites that we had access to already kind of lean that way. So we're like, let's just go all the way. And especially once Aaron sent the music in, and it very much captured that feeling. We're like, yeah, this
But
is the direction
also,
we're going.
Kind of fuck those games just based on the one thing. You could fall in the sewers and it would hurt you. When you think about it, it's like, why does the Ninja Turtles get hurt going into the sewer? Doesn't make.
I mean, I think it's more so the fall.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you
but
still
dude,
fall and you hit the
they
concrete.
fucking jump into the sewers all the time
That's
just
true.
fine.
That's
like,
true.
It's stupid.
That is true. That's true. That game
Rest
was
of the
hard,
game's
man.
great though. Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
game, it was one of those ones in the era of like, it was
game
trying
was
to eat your fucking
hard
quarters.
as
Yeah,
Like,
it was all
shit.
about putting in as many quarters in there as you could.
Yep.
All right, cool. Next one. Why weren't Jason's Zeo Gold Ranger powers considered for the fight?
Right. So Jason came back for a brief period of time in Power Rangers Zeo to become the Gold Ranger, but then he couldn't keep the powers. They were. It's just we wanted to focus on the Red Ranger because that's the matchup
Mhm.
people had back in the day. People argued back in the day.
What's
but-
Power
but
Rangers Zeo?
That
Sorry.
was right after Mighty Morphin. That was their next upgrade.
How did the theme song go? I only remember them by theme song.
Stronger than before. Zeo something.
Oh
something.
snap!
Yeah.
They are
Stronger
stronger
than
than before.
Zeo.
And
one-
Torian.
that one-
it's something like that.
That one sucks.
It's
That
like
was
a.
awful.
it's like the same kind of theme song. They just added some.
I'm not a
stuff to
good
it.
judge of
We said it
characters.
like a
'cause
dozen
I thought,
times,
I
but you
thought
like
the
Turbo a
I thought the
lot.
Turbo
Dude.
was.
That was
The best-
actually that
Man.
was really heartbreaking to watch because like when they were doing the Power Rangers marathon on Twitch,
Oh my
Torian's just been going
I
around
was
just
super hyped.
telling all of us like just you
Can't
wait,
wait.
just you wait till it gets the turbo.
I can't wait. It's the theme song.
And then he starts watching it and realizes that it's terrible.
It's terrible.
And then
It's
you were just
so
like
bad.
you were just like moping around the office. You're just like it's.
Because in my mind,
I always thought it was
as a
good.
child, I loved it. I was like, here's cars. This is a cool theme song. And as a 25, 26-year-old adult, I was like, this is whack.
The only one that holds up is RPM. Only one.
RPM is lit.
Yeah. RPM
And
is
a
great.
few.
Mystic Force is pretty good.
So,
The time one. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
The
It's pretty good.
time one.
I want to say Time Cops, but that's not right. But they were Time Cops.
What was the one with the giant dog?
So real quick, the
Sorry.
point I was making was the Zeo Ranger, the Zeo Gold Ranger stuff is still technically applied because all the Rangers scale to each other technically, unless they have super specific power ups. For example, we did not give Jason the metallic armor because only Rocky was the only Red Ranger I believe that got the metallic armor in the Mighty Morphin era.
you said Leo could move as fast as lightning, but he was reacting to the purple dragon's hand, not the lightning itself. Shouldn't you have to redo the episode because of this error?
Damn, redo that whole episode?
A lot of people commented on this.
Really?
So, okay, I understand we're presenting a lot of information very quickly, so it's easy to miss very specific things. We did not say that Leo could move as fast as lightning.
Ooh.
We said that he could react to somebody shooting lightning. The number that we gave him as a reaction speed is Mach 166. Just double check. I'm. Anyway, we did not say that he was lightning quick.
Yeah, like
specifically.
So yeah, like always reaction speed and movement speed.
Well, he's specifically bullet timing,
Sure,
which is
got you.
he's reacting to somebody moving their arm. And then
That's what I'm
shooting
saying. Like Neo can dodge bullets, but he can't run as fast as a bullet.
Sure.
Mhm.
Got you.
Well, in the Matrix.
Well,
that's
yeah,
a
he
very,
could. Like
No, he can't.
once he sees the code and gets into it, he
He can
Also,
fucking fly.
he can just
Complete
rewrite
tiny-
his program to run.
Tiny tangent, but like I feel like the last Matrix wrapped it up. What the fuck are they gonna do with this next one? Like they can't be back in the Matrix. They're like, oh, we got captured by robots again.
It's,
Like, what?
it's probably
Anyways,
gonna be like a new like.
It's a double deep Matrix. That entire
Yeah,
Matrix was a
it's-
Matrix. to
it's
get them-
probably
it
gonna
doesn't
be
matter.
like-
That's exactly what
It's probably gonna
Yeah.
be like this modern age
question.
version.
Gaming
of Matrix.
news guy, Time Force. Yes, Time Force is great.
Time Force is awesome.
That
There it
was
is.
one
Time
where the Red Ranger gets killed in the first episode.
Holy shit.
In my head.
Why wasn't this Jason versus Raphael? Doesn't that matchup make more sense?
Ooh, the hard question.
Because they're red?
Jason versus Raph. I believe that is the entire reason.
What's the next question?
Moving on.
Why didn't you mention that Jason's teleportation and blade gun were probably better than Leo's portals and projectiles? You should make these episodes longer with more analysis in a much bigger fight.
Man, a lot
Would
of-
you please give us a lot more money? Oh shit! No, like just like if you look into it, like these are not cheap to make.
They're expensive as shit.
Expensive as shit. Like we're talking.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like
For what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Internet show.
I don't want to get that. There's definitely a concern that I have with us being part of Rooster Teeth and us being like next to shows like Ruby.
Yeah.
Is this idea that maybe Death Battle gets like millions of dollars of budget for every episode or whatnot, or even every year. It's like no, that's not really the case. Death Battle is not a show that is like putting out hundreds of pieces of merchandise or whatever every year, because we don't own these characters. So there's a limit to what we can do.
Not to be salty, but our merch does not sell, so we don't have that revenue chain either.
You can get the shirt.
I mean,
store.roosterteeth.com.
Yes, please,
Yeah.
please, Jesus, buy y'all did buy the game, and we love
Go
you
buy
for
a
that,
shirt.
though.
Oh, yo, the game was lit.
game's selling
Game's
great.
fucking great, yeah.
Merch sales definitely help boost the show's
Yeah.
potential as the years go by.
But the other thing too
but the point is, sorry, Jed, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, like you have to keep in mind that like we make this show for everyone. We have a very, very, very wide audience, and we've been very fortunate to be that the show is so
Yeah.
successful. And so like as much as like while there are some people who would be great to like just go down and show you every last little bit of research and detail that we did, to like the vast majority of the audience, they don't care about that. They just want to like get the general high level and then fight. So it's finding that balance,
Yeah.
of like how much we do deep dive into some things, but then we can't do that for everything.
Yeah.
So we pick and choose what's
Honestly,
important.
that's why
to
we
compare.
answer the questions here, because if you want more information, you can come watch it.
Well, specifically on the note of the blade gun and the teleportation, I feel like that's kind of visually shown. Like it's kind of obvious that Leo has to cut open space to teleport and then go through that portal, whereas Jason can just do it. So we showed that in the fight, and I feel like that was enough.
No, it was.
That's my
Enough for
thought.
that one.
Yeah. I think it's just more.
so salty.
But like you got like the idea across. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
This is what it is. This is the idea. Here it is. If we had more time, or wanted to, or we could, and just go further, get more detailed in it visually. I mean, that's always like a creative like want. Like you want to be as expressive as you can, but it's a job.
And even going back to that earlier question about the lightning thing, like there's also the fear that if we put in so much information, a lot of it gets missed, or misinterpreted. Like,
you know how many flips I want to put in stuff?
well, Death Battle is a very complicated show. We'll just end it at that.
How come Leo's stealthing ability wasn't a major factor in the fight? If Jason doesn't even realize he's there, Leo could kill him before he even morphs.
I mean, that's fair. That's true.
I don't think the fight is Leo versus like the normal teenager Jason, though. That's not like he wins that one. It's whenever he morphs.
I mean, theoretically, if we change the rule set in the entire situation to be like, could Leonardo assassinate Jason Lee Scott? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think.
But that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, I think most fights are like that, right? Like a different approach will definitely, like outside our own rule set, a different approach will definitely turn the fight,
Change
or
the
have a
factors
different
because of that.
have a different outcome altogether, where it's the same or different.
But then
or not.
that's us manufacturing a scenario where Leo gets the drop on Jason. We can do the same thing to Jason. It's like nobody wants to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting idea. It's very situational. Like I think we've talked about potentially exploring ideas like, what if Batman had 3 hours of prep time to take on Juggernaut or something like that? That sort of
That
concept
seems
is interesting.
super specific.
It's very specific.
Because you got to think about what he can do in 3 hours.
It'd be a very difficult thing to really
Always
lock down.
look.
Batman can do almost anything in 3 hours.
Here's look. I'm gonna give you guys the strat on Death Battle. Okay.
Okay.
You
The
at
secret.
home watching, or at work, or in your car. Don't do it in your car. Listening in your car.
There you go.
Think of Death Battle fights as you yourself are in a bar, a pub, if you so be. You're having a nice brew.
You're English.
You're having a nice brew, and the two people that are fighting both walk into the bar and they bump into each other, and they don't like that.
I mean,
Right.
And then
that's
a
pretty
fight
accurate.
breaks out. That's how you guys got to. You guys got to take off getting the jump on people.
Yeah, right.
How they went into a bar, they bumped into each other, they didn't
Which
like
is
it.
pretty much literally how this fight starts.
Yeah.
Like, Jason
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
bumps into
Yeah.
him, and it's
So-
like, oh, Reed's monster.
To
What
be
a
fair,
monster. I love that.
to
one.
be fair, in Leo's defense,
Sure.
we technically did give him the speed advantage.
Okay.
So you could theoretically say, like, well, couldn't he just blitz Jason before Jason even morphs?
Sure.
And yes, that is entirely possible. Again, Death Battle is not our answer is not a 100% of the time blank would win. That's not what we're doing.
But again, like, rolling back to the bar scenario, Leo doesn't know he's gonna morph.
That's also true.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he wouldn't know to blitz him immediately.
Right.
Leo's
Like,
a smart fighter. He would wait,
Take him and
Yeah.
see what he's
see, like,
working
what
with.
is this
Right.
guy gonna do?
Yeah, as far as he knows, it's like, metal's my superpower. Now that you've stabbed me, I'll turn into, like.
You just fought all sorts of crazy mutants.
Bar
Yeah.
fights, you guys. Very
Anyway.
pretty bar fights.
Next question.
He fought a purse.
Why do you keep making fun of Michelangelo? It's said all the time that he has the most potential of all the turtles. That means he's the best.
No, it
a couple of
Which
people
one's
got mad
Michelangelo?
at us for saying that he was dropped on his head as a kid, which is a
Oh.
callback to
Which
our
one's
older
Michelangelo?
Michael.
episode.
What?
Oh, no.
The stick?
No, that's Donatello.
It was Donatello. Oh, he has the size.
No, that's Raphael.
No, he's a nunchuck, man.
Come on, and now we've eliminated Leonardo because of the swords.
There's only one other possible.
To be fair, I always
The
get
nunchuck, man.
Raph and him confused.
We
What?
See, this is why
I do
they
too.
didn't write this episode.
Yeah,
I do. too.
I don't.
I do.
We haven't
I
done
remember
a
when
trivia
we-
with Torian in a while.
I know,
We need
and
to do that.
I'm looking forward to that. I remember when we were just like name all 4 Ninja Turtles, and you couldn't do it, and it blew my mind.
So I can name all. I just
So-
get those two confused.
Michelangelo. There are multiple occasions where it's mentioned that Michelangelo has the best potential of the turtles. The whole thing with Michelangelo is that he doesn't take advantage of it.
Right.
Like that's his thing. Sometimes he does in very specific circumstances, like the Battle Nexus tournament. But
And that's why Michelangelo is the most relatable turtle.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
generally
Because
speaking,
he's like,
yeah.
I want to stay home and play video games. I'm like, word, Mike.
It's like, but it's like I have the potential to become a rocket scientist. Is that gonna happen?
Fuck that shit,
no.
though.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so we can't like give him the. I just assume he's the best of all of them and give them all the stuff because he has the most potential. He just gets stoned and eats pizza and doesn't really want to put in that much effort.
Which
said
is
a rocket
so
scientist.
respectable. Yeah, I know. He's giving himself a
Like
lot.
that.
I think I was inspired by your NASA
You
hat.
would have said singer or something. Maybe.
Well, I'm saying I was trying to do a really like sure I could like drop everything I'm doing, go to school, and like start learning about that crap. But
Yeah?
I'm not going to.
Yeah? He's really question this shit.
It is a little different than the Michelangelo
I know,
thing,
I'm
but
just saying.
we get what
you
you're
literally
going
just
for.
drop
Yeah,
your
we
whole life
understand.
to be a rocket scientist.
We
I'm just saying,
understand.
It's not gonna happen. I have the potential.
All
to
right,
do
what's
that, but
next?
I'm not going to.
Will you ever have a Power Ranger who is not from the Mighty Morphin era?
They're the coolest ones.
So we have done, I think, 4 Ranger battles now, and they've all been from Mighty
Rangers.
Morphin. At this point, I feel like it would be good to, if whenever we do another Ranger fight, to maybe do somebody from a different era, RPM,
Ooh.
Time Force.
No,
what
but
have you.
instead we still use the Morphin Crew, but we do the movie one where they got the ninja powers.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Jungle
But
Fury.
Ooh,
Jungle Fury's lit.
sorry, that just made me think. One of that specific version of one of the Ninja Turtles versus what was that movie with the kangaroos that had this that were also ninjas?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Is it Guardian something?
No. Wait. I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of Kangaroo Jack. That's not it.
No, it's not
That
Kangaroo
is not
Jack.
it, man.
Oh.
That is not-
What?
Huh?
13 Warriors. It might have been that. That sounds
the
familiar.
like secret organization of kangaroo ninjas or something?
No, they were like there's like a portal or something, and then like these kids team up with these kangaroo ninjas. Like
Kangaroo.
I
Ninjas.
cannot be the only one.
I
that knows
cannot
it.
believe
That was put
this.
on a
They
whiteboard
probably won't
somewhere.
appear in a death battle.
That was put on a whiteboard.
Live.
somewhere.
I got Bucky O'Hare
Okay,
into a death
if
battle.
the 5 of us can't name what the fuck show you're talking about, it's not making it on Death Battle. Like,
Yeah, that's
we're
fair.
pretty nerdy. We know most fucking, at least the franchise name of most shit. If we don't know it, like, it's not gonna
Yeah.
fucking cut.
No, it's not the 13th Warrior.
Anyway.
Why?
Oh.
Warriors
I
of
think
Virtue.
that's it. I think that's it.
That
Why is the fight announcement no longer part of your battle animations?
Every
Just real
week.
quick, we haven't talked about this in a while.
Really?
Yeah, we talked about it when it first happened,
I
but it's
got
been a
you.
year
I get you.
since we removed the fight announcement. It's just to make the openings to the fights a little more dynamic and give us more options. I think this is a very good example, actually,
yeah.
this one in particular.
It might sound weird, but when you're writing one, it kind of limits the way you can intro fights when you have to fit that graphic into the script.
Yes.
Like it's awkward and feels ham-fisted and stuff. It's a lot more natural to write the fight script like just without it.
And even last week, you had mentioned that you got invested into this fight because of the whole pizza situation.
Yeah.
That would have been very difficult to do if
Yeah.
they first had to face off, and then the fight happens, and then Jason throws the first punch.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, those guys.
These guys would be
That
good.
looks like
so
something
I
fucking
thought,
special.
I thought an actual kangaroo.
Yeah, they don't look like kangaroos. They're
I
just
mean, they're
kangaroo heads on
kangaroo-esque
people.
people.
Anyway, one last question.
Like some Dark
One more
Crystal
question, then
shit.
we can get to the
Or
cereal
them
battle.
versus the ones from
What
Tank
should we
Girl.
expect
Sorry.
from the next episode?
People fighting.
So the next episode is... Great. Thanks, guys.
It was really funny.
Next episode is Genos versus War Machine.
Ooh.
I know the most popular request for Genos is Android 17,
Ooh.
but that's a terrible idea.
What?
Android 17 would blow up the planet, and Genos would be like,
Yeah.
oh well.
That's fair.
Android 17 is
It's kind of. He was the last one in the tournament of power.
Exactly.
yeah,
It's not-
but
they're a
that's
little
not because he
different.
was the strongest one in the tournament
I mean,
of power.
he watched
No,
a couple
he
people.
fucking holds his own. Like he even holds his own against like Super
He
Saiyan
beat
Blue
a couple
Goku.
people,
Like, yeah,
like-
he's
So,
he's the shit.
Enlighten me, Ben. I don't mean to throw us off. Yes, I do. How did Android 17 get so strong?
Okay,
By
so
being a Texas Ranger.
no,
That's how
Firmware upgrade.
Texas Rangers work.
Well, he's not
I-
an Android anymore, right?
No, he's
they
an
only
Android.
made
He doesn't have the bomb
18.
anymore.
So-
Oh, I see.
because
still
they're
androids.
Okay.
Or they're still
because-
cyborg. Or wait,
Gotcha.
no. Yeah, cyborgs.
Gotcha.
Yes.
They were
Yes.
never androids.
Right. They're
but because they have like they essentially have a robotic like engine and heart, but all their other shit might as well be flesh in the way like that's not how this works, but that's how it works in that sense. And so because of the way they were built, they can still grow in power. It's not like they're built at this like limit and that's where they are.
Oh.
And so yeah, that's how they can get stronger.
I like how Dr. Giro built these cyborgs at Super Saiyan level, like higher than Super Saiyan level, and they still
Oh,
can
way
get
better.
stronger.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I
Man,
mean,
that was
yeah.
such a good part of the series where it's like Vegeta's like, I'm gonna go Super Saiyan, and then she's like, I'm gonna break your arm.
Yeah,
Dude, oh my
yeah.
god! I remember
Oh,
my
shit.
jaw hit the fucking floor.
Yo.
when Vegeta's arm
Yes.
got broken.
And they
God
like
damn,
watch
that was
Trunks and
dope.
Gohan in the future. The androids are sick.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Genos might not be the best matchup.
You're right.
For 17.
You're right.
But War
Yeah.
Machine has been. We think this matchup is going to be really fun to watch, and the animation looks pretty dope. So it's going to be a pretty hype episode. We think.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're very excited to share it with you guys. It's kind of a unique.
I'm more
episode in a
surprised
way.
people are like, oh, you're gonna do One Punch Man and not use Saitama. Like I'm more
We've
surprised
talked
we
about
haven't
that
seen a lot of
before.
that.
Saitama is a
Yeah.
tricky character to bring into Death Battle. Genos is not.
Everybody wants that Saitama versus Goku shit,
Oh,
and
jeez.
I'm on the fucking Krillin train. Like I'm pretty sure.
You think Krillin can beat
I think
Saitama?
Krillin's got it. I think Krillin got it.
What? No,
He's a
we
better
would,
ball
no.
character.
This
We've
was
talked about
this was a potential death battle.
Oh, jeez.
Community death battle that we did, and it was very divisive.
It got
I think
crazy,
Krillin's got it.
but it was very informative. Unlike what we're about to do.
Spoiler alert.
Let's move on
Saitama
to this
doesn't
week's
beat everybody
community
at
death
one
battle.
point.
I'm so ready.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm ready.
So
I'm-
this community death battle
Chad
is
showed me a video.
the Raisin Bran son with the 2 scoops.
Yeah.
Versus Lucky
Very
of Lucky
important.
Charms
With the two scoops.
versus the Captain Crunch.
We also
and then
said
Count
people.
Chocula and his cronies. What was it?
Count
Chalk
and
and the crew?
Chalk
Count
and the
and
crew,
his
yeah.
gang.
Yeah.
Whatever they're supposed to be doing here. And
It's
of
the
course,
fucking spooky squad over
like
here,
how-
man.
I
Like,
like how
the
the ghost
spooky
got
spot,
a
I like it.
the
Yeah.
ghost got like a little hat on.
yeah, he was definitely a businessman
Oh,
before
boy.
this with the
Okay.
fucking fedora and shit.
Fir-
like-
First of all, I didn't mention it, but I just want to thank everybody who watched Leonardo versus Red Ranger, whether you're first members or you saw it on YouTube. Reaction has been great so far.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to really enjoy it.
Power Rangers
which
are
is
lit.
awesome.
People like Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's been great. But as for this one, as always, we reach out to you guys and ask who you think would win. using hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter. For this one, do we have answers for all 4?
No, I didn't
What?
think we would have that much time to go through shit.
Okay.
What? I thought
All right.
Q&As usually last a long ass time, so I pulled 3 up. If you want to pull one up here,
Well, let's go
Brian.
ahead and pull up
Do you
whatever we
have,
have.
the only one that I haven't researched is Count Chocula and his gang. Did you get one for that? Or is that the one
So-
that you don't have?
It's probably the one that he
The
doesn't
biggest thing with this one is the gang might be a problem. We all know Frankenstein doesn't really have a lot to say. The son, being a son, definitely beats vampire. Like if you're in like a rock paper
I thought
vampire
about-
son.
think
I thought
Like, let's
about
not
that
even
this
discuss.
morning. I thought
Yeah,
about that this
let's
morning.
not discuss that.
Yeah.
The
have.
ghost,
The instant the fight starts.
the ghost is something else, but also the ghost isn't beating anyone.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
just hanging out.
Well, that's why
The
I
real-
wasn't sure why we were even including these.
I did.
Anyway,
I like one of the
let's go
major
ahead. Let's go ahead and
serials.
bring up the first answer, whatever it is. We'll just figure this out.
I've got some stuff to.
The
I've got
only
some-
and,
Wait,
like,
no,
Let's
I thought
let's
we
go
made-
to the answers
Okay,
first.
all
Let's
right.
get
and then I've
their
got knowledge.
feedback
All right,
first.
Dev Smith says
Screw raisins.
Screw raisins.
this one I feel like is just really there.
What?
Screw raisins. I'm just on board.
Hold
with
on. I'm
s-
sorry.
I'm so glad I
We
looked
made
into some
we
of
made
this.
it like the count.
Sam, you know we're supposed to be taking their answers and building our answers off of them, right?
Yeah, and screw raisins is a strong argument.
That is
Okay.
very
Yeah,
good.
I knew this
No,
would be
raisins
all
are
that.
great though.
We can hit the next one. though. We can
Raisins
hit
are
the next one.
Let's go to the next
There
one.
better be some legitimate.
Thank
stuff.
you, Dev Smith.
Raisins are great. So you really only have 2 answers.
We're gonna get
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We're having some
Well-
technical difficulties.
Anyway,
My
oh,
thing
there
is,
we go. All right.
okay, this was for Lucky,
All
and
right.
you can go through it. You can see this is like marketing material shit that lists the powers that the different marshmallows essentially
Yep.
have and give him.
Yep.
It's fucking ludicrous. But the one on the bottom is the banger. The hourglass
Yep.
charm has the power to stop time and speed up time and reverse time.
It also has the power to teleport him through time.
yes.
One of the things I was watching, he threw it down on the ground and went back to the prehistoric era.
Yeah.
Just to escape the children.
So really, the thing was we were all fucking sleeping on Lucky because this guy is hella lit.
So, okay. Here, I'll drop some lucky knowledge on you too.
Uh-oh.
So some of the stuff that I was just looking at. Yeah, so first of all, he's constantly like flying around on this star like nowadays.
Right.
He's got the star and he's just like
Yeah.
zooming everywhere.
He's
Kirby's
pretty much
Warp
Kirby.
Star.
Yeah.
He
like-
once flew through a rainbow, which then split him into like 6 different forms. I thought I was like, well, that's kind of situational with the rainbow. Then on one occasion, he pulls
can
out his
make
fucking
rainbows.
hat marshmallow and throws it on the ground and clones himself, and
Yeah.
then throws a bunch more and makes like a million fucking lucky clones. But the one I'm building up to
oh,
is the one that I showed Torian because I couldn't fucking
It's-
believe
it's
what I just
bullshit.
watched.
I don't understand.
He's,
Okay, what is
he's
it?
got his book of charms, and he trips over a rock, and the charm book blasts a rainbow beam and blows up the fucking moon.
Yep. Yep.
Like I showed that.
Also, he's made stars. He likes to grab stars and turn them into marshmallow stars.
Oh my god.
yeah.
So this boy can probably just grab the sun.
Okay, real quick. Do we have any
Marshmallow.
other answers? from the
Yeah, there
community?
was one more in here,
Let's go ahead and bring that up.
which was a good point. So Captain Crunch gets defeated by space invaders.
Okay.
So he's a weakness against
What does
celestial
defend-
opponents.
Like
like the Raisin Rain Sun.
Hey,
Also, I
nice.
will say this is the only one who, like, part of their core character is he fucked up his cereal and made oops all berries. Like this man fucked up. He's the only one who showed up. He forgot his own fucking cereal.
But
He was like, he didn't even bring the crunch.
Okay. To be fair, there are plenty of people who mentioned that the
And-
Captain the crunchitizing whatever beam
Yes.
is not a beam.
It's
he
not.
just has to look at you.
right. So that's it.
Oh,
so
but shit!
Here's
so
the
that's
thing.
Like,
He
here's
just
what it
looks
is.
at you.
He can crunchitize shit, but the shit he crunchitize does not die. If anything, it just makes it more capable to destroy your mouth.
No,
like,
so-
Doesn't
it
he
just
control
makes you more
I
dangerous.
got
He
it.
gives you control. He gives
So
him control over you.
All he does is he busts a fucking no matter where you are, land, sea, air, that ship's coming in.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so he busts in.
Ship's all
And he
terrain.
always has a spyglass ready, and all he does is just look at the fucking
Damn,
kids.
that makes a lot of sense.
Then
now.
they become Crunch berries, or sorry, Crunch cereal, which then makes them into cartoons, where he has control over this fucking. It basically puts them into his own nightmare dimension of like all of these animals and things and like dinosaurs and shit.
He's like Freddy Krueger of the
Right.
cereal gang.
And they do straight up show that like in there's giant versions of Crunch and like all these cartoon Crunch, which the kids turn into, can be eaten. So
do you think that at any point in time, Oops All Berries was a cereal because he ran out of children to crunchitize?
Real
so
quick,
he always
real
turns
quick.
them back.
Yes. So I'm curious if
That
he
we've
can just
seen.
keep them as Crunch and they're just floating around.
Oh, 100%. I would.
So he could like turn the sun into Crunch
I think
and dunk it in the ocean
I think
or
it's
something.
it has to be
Drown
one
it.
form to another.
Also, real
Like,
quick, I
think
do
it's,
want to
like,
throw
in
out a
between.
wild card because I did say that write-ins were acceptable. And
Yeah.
Genevieve, actually the writer for Leo versus Jason, commented that she was embarrassed that we did not include Cinnamon Toast Crunch because every single piece of Cinnamon Toast
Yeah.
Crunch is like an angry cannibal that eats other Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Much like the Crave chocolate cereal, they have a wild world. There's a great YouTube video about the fucking Crave MCU kind of shit. It's, really, it's like such.
But
an
they're
in-depth
like
look. It's very funny.
little like monsters.
Yeah.
And it's like a swarm of them.
Yeah.
Could be super
Well,
devastating.
speaking of which,
That's true.
these are all fantastic, but see, he showed me the evidence that this is not even fair. First of all, I thought we said the count was like Dracula, who can stand the sun, right?
No, it
We don't know for sure.
that
Dracula
depends
can
on
stand
what,
his
it
own.
depends on what version.
Yeah, there's a
Uh,
lot going on there.
No. I mean, there's been a million versions of
You
Dracula,
want the
so
sun to
maybe.
win one.
Anyway, because I thought that would be cool.
Why? Okay.
Anyway,
What does this have to do with what he showed you?
he showed me the Raisin Bran's son has an army of raisins that's the same size as him.
So the Raisin
the
Bran
real
sun
question is-
does possess magic.
We do not know
scoops are
how
magic.
They
big
were
the Raisin
sentient.
Bran sun
Yes,
is.
it's the sun.
Well,
Hang on.
it's in
so
the-
he
it's-
seems to be smaller. I looked at him in multiple commercials. He is smaller.
They're
It's
gonna
like,
show him smaller to interact with the children. It's the sun,
I
Chad.
mean, there might be. If you can show me a commercial where he's actually like fucking humongous,
How is
then-
he illuminating the entire? The
well, we don't
the
even know. He
planet
might be like a little. He's his own little mini
if he's
sun.
a mini sun. How does that still
You're just
work?
assuming he's illuminating the planet.
He's still
There's probably
bringing
still
the
a
same
sun.
amount of light. So it's two suns.
There could be a real just sun, and then he's this weird sentient cartoon guy who loves cereal and raisins.
It's
but
the sun.
Ben, he does
He's-
have magic. The
Ooh.
scoops are magic. because
Hey, the
what happens
scoops are
is
magic.
He dumps the raisins into the cereal, and he flies back up, and there's this raisin reporter talking to him, and then he just aims the empty scoops down, and they magic like a fucking army of sentient raisin people.
That are the same size of
But-
him, mind you.
Okay.
Whatever.
If he's
Also, I
not
just found
the
a
size of the
commercial
sun-
where the sun looks like does not actually give off light. However, he can shoot fire.
Yo, that's nice.
This commercial from the 1970s he's tiny. He's pretty small. He
Yes.
goes up to a lamp and he lights the lamp on fire. So he needs the lamp. So he doesn't give off light.
What?
But he
There's
can
plenty of
create
commercials where
fire.
He's like shining in the sky and stuff.
Well, are there kids around, and that's why he's got the lamp? So,
No, there's
well,
no
I guess
kids.
it would matter.
What about the context of the commercial? Like, is he just like, you can eat Raisin Bran at night?
He's next to grapes. Those are
Yeah.
grapes. He's tiny.
Very small.
It could be
So,
giant.
so yeah, the
It could
original
be
one.
giant's grapes.
The original one, yeah, he's very small because they always show him next to grapes drying him
He's
out.
the size on the box.
But then, like the 80s, 90s version, he seemed to be a little bit bigger. Like he's about like I don't know, about the size of like I'd say a car. Maybe
He's in the sky.
okay, if he's the size of a car, he's still fucking getting destroyed by Lucky.
right. Well,
I
no.
don't
So
think
here's
so.
the only thing I wanted to bring up with Lucky is that like Lucky fucks up.
Oh,
a
I
lot.
found the raisin. I found what you're talking about. He just like throws his scoops.
Yeah,
raisins
he's
appear.
the
Yeah,
size of
it's
a
magic.
car.
There's little beams that come out.
Even if he's the size of a car, does he still have the power of the sun?
No.
We mean no. Why not?
I don't think he does. Because in this commercial,
He'd be setting everything on fire
Yeah, that
around him.
forest would be on fire.
he drops the raisins and then he leaves. And if he was the sun, that would be a huge problem if the sun just left.
Yeah, nothing gravitates around him.
Yeah, and he'd be burning like those trees would all explode in flames.
I think it works like in Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yes, this is what
that
I'm talking
sun.
about. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the only counter argument to Lucky, and that's that like this dude fucks up all the time. Like a lot of it, he's just the bumbling.
He's been fucking dodging these kids for 30 years.
No, they catch him all the fucking time.
Do they?
Yes.
No, they don't.
I
Hey,
just
that's the whole
real
thing,
quick, real
right?
quick.
No, it's the
First
Twitch
members who
rabbit
are
never gets
watching
his
live. First members who are watching live. If you have anything to add, I am looking at the chat right now. Let us know who you think should win and why, because clearly this is going all over the place.
So wait. So Lucky's. So really, it just goes back to like if you don't see it coming, right? Really, the captain just got to look at Lucky and it's over.
So that's what I think this
No.
has really come down to.
He would just turn Lucky into a crunch,
And
but
then
he'll
eat
still
him.
be Lucky.
and then eat him.
Does he have to turn him into what?
The
Yeah,
sun is
like,
not the size of of a car. This is from the 80s.
That's
He's
a
just
bird.
hanging out with a bird. And it's not even like he's in the sky and the bird's talking to him. He's in like a cave with the bird.
Again, he's changed in size.
He does
Over-
shoot light in this commercial though.
Now the real question is, can he change his size at will?
That's actually might be what it is.
Yeah.
And so he could
Yeah.
potentially.
Or
go
has he
see-
Yeah.
been growing over time?
He's been eating plenty of Raisin Bran
I think
cereal.
he can just change
Is
his
that how
size
Raisin Bran
over-
works?
He changes his size to be able to interact with whatever he has to interact with. If he had to interact with a celestial being, he would probably be the size of the regular sun. But he
Okay.
has to, interact
So what
with
is
a bird.
stopping the Crunchitize scope thing from just turning him into Captain Crunch?
I've never seen evidence that he can crunchitize anything but children.
Wait, doesn't he
Uh,
crunchitize adults at some point? I don't know.
Hold on, I'm just trying to think. I was just watching this. I'm pretty sure he crunchitizes non-organic material in one of them,
Uh-oh.
but I don't remember what it was.
Wait, sorry, Chad, you were also talking about how Lucky fails all the time?
He does.
Are you talking about how...
The kids catch him a bunch, and then like
So I believe the Lucky Tricks is the one where
Trick-
the kids
yes.
catch him
no, the rabbit.
intentionally, but the Lucky Charms, he lets them.
No, a lot of times, no, like almost all the Lucky Charms thing is like him being like, "Uh-oh, kids found me. I gotta get the fuck out of here."
But
And
they
then they're
never
like,
get his
"Nah,"
charms.
And then they're like,
They
Yeah,
never
I
get
don't
his
think they ever
charms.
get his...
I just watched these.
Do they ever get the
Did he
cereal?
get his charms?
What?
Do
get
they
his
ever
charms?
do you ever get the cereal, the charm?
Well, right, and so there's a couple of commercials where when they've caught him, he like fucking bribes them, being like, "Here, I've added double marshmallows to the cereal now. Please eat that and let me
They
go."
really are not after him. They're like, yo, this cereal's been the same for a week.
Yeah, but like I mean, his kids,
They're
the
little
kids have
fucking
gotten
crack
his,
addicts.
the kids have gotten his book of charms multiple times. Like when he blew up the fucking moon, it was because he was trying to run from the kids and tripped. Like
Like, what is that supposed to symbolize? Wait, did they put moon chunk charms in
Yeah.
that cereal?
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, I don't want to fuck with some charms that can blow up a moon. Why am I putting this in my body? What the fuck?
Do you get the moon powers if you
I'm
eat
gonna
the moon
switch
buster
here.
charm?
I'm gonna switch because I'm the raisin. I'm
All right, well
curious
let's
about that.
figure out what we're all voting
I'm
for.
curious about the
Lucky.
raisin buns. I'm gonna go with Captain Crunch. I think he can just look at Lucky and then eat him.
There is a side argument that Captain Crunch can crunchitize everybody but the ghost.
Why wouldn't he be able to
Why don't you
crunchitize
just
the
look at the ghost?
I don't know. Even then, if he crunchitizes a ghost,
Oh, is he changing
and you
matter?
eat a
I mean,
crunch
he's
ghost,
turning people into cartoons and then cartoons back into
but
people.
they still have their same initial elements, I believe.
Sure.
So he would, even if the ghost got crunchitized, he'd be a crunch ghost. And even then, I believe if the cap
He's
ate
just
him,
Crunch.
I no,
Right?
I
Yeah,
think
it
he would
doesn't
be.
turn them
them
into crunch
into
people.
Crunch.
I don't know. I think get to have mouths and shit, right? When they're crunches.
No, they're just a swirling vortex of crunch cereal.
Yeah.
Until then they reform as a cartoon kid.
Yeah.
And then they go back to the swirling vortex
So he
of crunch cereal.
cartoonifies them.
And then he can decartoonize them again.
But could he
So
not?
he can't cartoonify a cartoon.
But in that world, when they're all as cartoons, like there's like he turns like a thing into a crunch thing, and then the kids eat it, and so it's like
Crunch's power is he looks at somebody through his spyglass and boom, they turn into Captain Crunch, the cereal.
But yes, exactly.
And then he can telekinetically move it wherever he needs.
right, and then in that world, like it's fucking crazy. Like it's his own little dimension. Like
That's super
He's
cool.
like navigating how they're all like surfing through like either like waves or just weird
Just goes
shit.
into a
and, like-
stadium and people are like, yes, it is me, Captain Crunch, and everyone just
Wait,
like
if
turns
only
into
if
Crunch and it's all swirling
if he's
around.
only able to crunchitize kids, does that mean that the cereal that we're eating?
That's
Is
why I said
children?
oops all berries is just him running out of children.
That's what he was saying earlier. Yeah.
So what's the berry?
Also, I don't think there's ever been any evidence of him crunchitizing a cartoon.
I mean, he can crunchitize
does.
them.
He
back.
does
Yeah.
crunchitize cartoons?
So,
Yeah, they go-
all
they
right,
go
all right,
back-
all right, all right.
They become cartoons,
let's get back to the
and
vote.
then he crunchitizes them again to go back to being human.
Let's get back to the vote.
I'm still going Lucky.
So we got to vote for Lucky because he's magic.
Second
I
vote is
can't
actually the
decide
Boo
between-
You're
Goat.
going Captain Crunch?
I'm gonna have to switch to Captain Crunch. I didn't know he looks at that. Makes a perfect sense.
Okay.
You're Captain Crunch now. Like,
Moon level Lucky, instant kill, Captain Crunch. What are you
Captain
leaning
Crunch
towards?
Blitz.
I am having a very tough time deciding between these two.
Which ones are you leaning towards?
Oh, it's either Lucky or Captain Crunch, 100%.
So the sun is just out of it now.
Yeah, sun's out.
The 2 scoops is not.
you guys,
gonna win
you guys,
this.
you guys made it not fun by not letting him be the regular son.
Well,
we
he's-
had to look at the
he
other.
He's
probably
clearly
is.
small. He's a mascot on a fucking box. Like, duh. Like what? Like, come on.
I tried to throw the ball up there that
So wait,
he
wait,
changed
wait,
his
wait.
size at will.
If he, because I'm sure there are commercials where he's just the sun. If that is true and he's just the sun, does that change your answer?
Yes, because it's the fucking sun.
But he can just get crunchitized. You just aim his spyglass.
I don't know about that.
Now he might go blind.
You're gonna.
It'll burn his eye out.
And now
just
Captain
like,
Crunch is fucked.
No, he's got another eye. It's
Oh my
one
God.
of those one-eye spyglasses.
That's
But
so good. Captain Crunch
Lucky
can't
can
beat the
just-
sun, but he has to sacrifice his sight.
Lucky can just turn him into a marshmallow.
I don't know about that one. You can just pluck the sun out the sky.
He's literally
I
done
think
it
he
to
just
stars.
aim his
What
fucking-
else are stars?
I'm also gonna say I'm gonna vote for the Raisin Bran Sun because I do think Captain Crunch could probably crunchitize the sun. I do think Lucky might have some magic that could destroy the sun. But once you destroy the sun, you're dead too. Because
Not
then you
if
no
he's
longer
not
have the
the
sun.
real sun. He's clearly not the real sun.
Well, if
Well,
he
Lucky's
is the
not a
sun.
real magical leprechaun either.
Yeah, he is.
What?
Yes, he
in
is.
his universe.
All right. So who are you voting for? Got to pick one.
I know, but it's so hard because I think, God, fuck. I'll say Lucky, I guess.
I mean,
Oh
go
shit!
back to
All
the
right, so let's
real sun.
see what you guys answered on the poll.
I mean, we know what it is.
I
Do
don't.
we?
I mean,
don't.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So
Fuck it!
Nobody
Yes!
gives a shit about the Count and Crew, which I
Yeah.
find funny. But the rest of it is a pretty fucking tight race.
The sun with two
Yeah.
spoons.
Yes. There's 2 spoons. Because there's no spoon emoji.
Oh my god. Okay. I
look
love this.
Look at how even it was between
It was-
Lucky
it
and
was
Captain
real
Crunch.
even.
Yeah.
Can we do
You guys
this?
almost had me.
Well, that's what I was
Let's
about to
fucking
ask.
do this.
So,
Well,
do
I
you
don't-
want us to do a 3-way battle between Raisin Bran, Lucky, and Captain Crunch as an actual death battle?
I say we do Lucky Captain Crunch. That's the most divisive.
No, and then the sun comes up, and then they have to team up against the sun.
Either
and then
way,
Captain
If
Crunch
we're doing a serial
sacrifices
battle,
himself.
we're doing more than just Captain and Lucky. Like
would
Raisin
be-
Bran Sun is the whole reason why this started.
All right.
sadly, the fight would be over very fast. We honestly,
Yeah,
You think so?
lots of death battles could be over very fast.
yeah. But
All right,
this
let
one-
us know if you think we should do this. I think it would be really fun. I don't know
I
if
want it.
a lot of people would probably look at that announcement and go, "What the fuck are they smoking?" But I would love to do it.
We always have like a goofy one. Like a
yeah,
goofy,
it's been a while since we did a real goofy one.
I mean,
like
I don't know if we've ever gone this far. with an
I mean,
actual
also-
death battle.
Smokey McGruff,
Eh,
man.
I guess that's kind of close.
Like,
we have the next year planned out, so it's gonna be a while before you can fit it in the schedule.
We'll find a way. We can fit it
Okay.
in at some point.
I
I'm
think
sure.
Genevieve probably wants to write it. so.
fucking sun.
These are my favorite.
Are
I
you gonna
love- it's
animate
like-
this one, Torian?
And then it can move. I would. And then it can move.
It's-
like so it can literally just come to the like fuck all of this and just destroy the earth.
Yeah, these are my favorite things.
If
of,
it's
like,
a real
things
sun,
that
yeah.
were never meant to be fighters, that were never meant to be analyzed seriously, and have a bunch of random ass commercials to sell products. Because then we get to go back. That's like when I found Smokey the size of the fucking mountains. Like I was just like, yes.
Okay, real
Anyway.
quick. I'm gonna say to all of you guys watching right now, if we are going to do this, I am a little worried that people would see us announce this and go like, "What has Death Battle become? Like this is way too different from what we are." Well, I'm just saying, if we do announce this, I hope you guys will support us, because It's gonna be such a weird episode, but so long as we have your support, I think we can do it.
I would have to like if I saw that, I would have to click on
I would
it.
have to click
Keep
on
your
it.
eyes
An
peeled
official
for our
Death Battle.
April 1st announcements.
It's like one of those. It's like one of those things you click on. You're like, oh, this is a joke. This is not a joke. This is not. This is a whole episode.
It's
All right,
like,
all right,
look
all
at
right.
Ronald McDonald versus Colonel Sanders. This is one of our most our best performing DVXs.
That's
and
true.
it's still it's just this. It's exactly
True.
this.
See,
I guess.
doing a joke battle for like one of our gag battles for death battle is always a little tricky because there's a very large portion of our audience that very much wants to spend that time leading up to the episode discussing it, debating it. It becomes
Yeah,
a
yeah.
topic of discussion. That audience is probably not going to be happy about this.
Yeah, but or it could
I mean,
be
I don't
fun.
know. Maybe
or
they
have
will.
fun. Dive in, get some research
Yeah.
done. Like I just had my mind blown when I saw the leprechaun blow the fucking moon up.
That was funny. But the raise their army though.
Maybe we would include all of this in the
They're-
announcement video, like Lucky,
Sentient raisin
Yeah.
moon
army.
level
What?
Lucky.
Yeah.
What is this sentient raisin army gonna do to me?
It's just a lot of them.
There's just a lot of
they
raisins.
do
They're
seem.
not even,
They also are large.
yeah, but they looked very
Yeah, but like,
jolly and
They're
happy.
like
in the
child sized.
commercial.
Yeah.
give me a fucking chainsaw and I'll take care of this army. Like,
All right. We got to lock down the next community
Squeeze
death
them out and
battle.
drink 'em.
I'm seeing a lot of
nobody
requests
wants
in the
raisin
chat.
juice.
I think we're gonna go
It's
with
wine.
Ash versus Lucy,
Oh, that's great.
which we mentioned last week. Excuse me,
Ash-
guys. We got to move on.
I'm
We're
sorry,
running out
Ash,
of time.
Yes, Ash,
Ash
versus
versus
Lucy.
Ash,
The Pokemon
Ketchum
trainer?
versus
Oh.
Lucy. Heartphilia, right? Is that her last
Fairy
name?
tale lady.
Yeah,
Oh.
Fairy Tale.
Yeah.
So Ash versus Lucy. Now this is basically a battle of summons, which we should probably clarify exactly how we're going to pick Ash's Pokemon. So Lucy, I believe, has 12.
He gets all the god tier Pokemon, right?
Well, Lucy has 12 summons to pick from, I believe, because it's like the
I
horoscope.
mean,
or
Ash
whatever.
has got Pikachu,
Well, Ash has 100 or something.
Charizard, like the ones he normally carries with him. I feel like.
Well, my thought is, there is no normal.
Heracross.
Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
it changes every year.
Yeah.
So my thought is, do we just give him all of his available Pokemon and just once he loses 6, he loses?
Yeah.
Or does it need to be a team that he has had before?
I think just pick whatever you need to in his Pokedex that he has in 6.
Okay.
One of them has to be Pikachu.
That's gonna be a
let's
lot.
honest. One of them has to be Pikachu.
Yeah,
He
well,
doesn't always battle with just Pikachu. A lot of the Pokemon.
but he's
League
always
tournaments-
got Pikachu with him. If there's one thing he's always got with him, it's fucking Pikachu.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's going to
mean.
be, I guess, our rule set for this is, does Lucy lose when she loses 6 of her summons? Is it just a battle to 6?
Sure.
No, I mean she's pretty much useless when she doesn't have him. So
Well, I think she's got 12, but I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly how many.
yeah.
So battle of 6, basically.
Yeah,
Whoever
let's
Or
loses
just
we,
say-
6
or
first
we could give
loses.
him 12 Pokemon, but that's a lot more to dive
Yeah.
into, so.
Well, okay. Well, that'll
I'm sure
balance it out.
Lucy
So
has 6
Ash
Pokemon that are
has
strong.
all of his Pokemon, but he can only use 6. Lucy has all of hers, just all of her summons, but she's got a very small number in comparison overall. So that'll
Yeah.
be the general rule
Sure.
set.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do that. Ash versus Lucy. As always with Death Battle, with community Death Battles, you can let us know who you think should win and why using hashtag DeathBattleCast. We will have a poll up on the @DeathBattle Twitter account later on. You can vote there, and we will talk about this matchup next week. Thank you guys so much for joining us this episode. I think that wraps up everything that we wanted to talk about this episode. It was very chaotic
It's not
one.
fair because that moon was also small.
Oh, we got to figure out the size of the moon.
Okay, he does.
Oh,
okay, here's
shit.
It is. It's a
Here's-
small moon.
We'll do
All
that
right.
later.
This
we can
is
talk about it.
this will be
Let's
perfect
skate
for
down right
the
after
death
that.
battle itself
That's
because
like
skate
his
at this
size.
point it's got to happen.
Yeah,
It's gotta
I want-
happen
I
at
want
some
it.
point.
I want it real bad.
Skate down.
But
I
for
guess
now,
confirmed at some point this might happen.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Confirmed at some point this might happen.
maybe.
Confirmed maybe.
Anyways, this
We'll
is a
see you in the
goodbye.
post-show.
Thank you guys for joining us.